as we prepare to go out of radio communication, we're still to feel your love from Earth, and to all of you down there on Earth and around Earth, we love you from the moon.
As soon as the Artemis II crew approached the far side of the moon, all communication with Earth was immediately cut off. Completely, 40 minutes, no signal, no radio, no hope of rescue. Four astronauts plunged into a deadly silence, a place where Earth vanishes beyond the horizon. A place where they gazed down into impact craters so deep and black they looked like gateways into nothing. Where strange vibrations rose from somewhere far below. And where they witnessed things that NASA has not yet dared to disclose fully. What Artemis II discovered out there, sending a shudder through the entire world. Here is what most people believe. The far side of the moon is simply the side we never see. Tidally locked to Earth, it always keeps the same face hidden from us. Simple geometry. Nothing more. But when NASA's DSCO VR satellite captured it in full daylight, that idea fell apart. The far side looks nothing like the near side. The familiar smooth lava seas are almost gone. In their place is a heavily cratered, battered landscape, a brutal record of 4 billion years of cosmic impacts. Its crust is 50 kilometers thicker, resembling an ancient shield that took every major blow the early solar system could deliver. And beneath that tortured surface lie deeper mysteries. Strange gravitational anomalies, unexpected heat sources, and massive structures scientists still cannot fully explain. This is precisely why NASA sent Artemis II behind the moon. When the crew lost all contact with Earth for 40 minutes, they were flying directly over one of the oldest and most enigmatic regions in the solar system, a place that may still hold secrets far older than humanity. Victor Glover suggested that perhaps humanity has not yet evolved enough to witness what they were seeing. Beneath their feet, 300 kilometers deep within the lunar interior, lies a metallic anomaly weighing 2.18 billion trillion kilograms. Massive enough to warp gravity itself, alongside mysterious heat sources breathing inside a world that should have been dead long ago. They sat there, in the most profound solitude in history, and wondered, what is truly buried beneath that gray dust? As it turns out, NASA didn't send Artemis II behind the moon blindly. They were chasing something that had haunted their data for years. In 2019, scientists analyzing data from the Grail mission made a startling discovery beneath the South Pole Aitken Basin, the oldest and deepest impact crater in the solar system. A massive anomaly. Roughly 2.18 billion trillion kilograms of dense material are buried over 300 kilometers underground, spread across an area 5 times the size of Hawaii. This object is so heavy that it actually bends the moon's gravity. Spacecraft flying overhead can measurably accelerate as they pass above it. The leading explanation is that it's the metallic core of a gigantic asteroid that slammed into the young moon 4 billion years ago and became lodged deep in the mantle. But here's what scientists still can't fully explain. Nothing quite like this has ever been found elsewhere. A buried world within a world, sitting directly beneath the moon's most ancient wound. And that is exactly why Artemis is heading there. For the crew of Artemis II, this was a physical presence, a silent tug on the hull that turned a scientific theory into a visceral reality. When Apollo astronauts planted seismometers on the lunar surface, what those instruments recorded challenged every assumption about the moon being geologically dead. The moon shakes, not violently, but persistently. We now know from analysis compiled at the USGS Astrogeology Science Center that the moon is physically shrinking, that its interior is cooling and contracting, and that its brittle crust is folding and cracking along thrust faults that are still forming right now, in our lifetime. But seismic signals from the far side carry something the shrinkage model does not fully account for. Certain readings, periodic in ways that do not map cleanly onto explanations that work for the near side data, are coming from beneath that thicker crust. Whether this reflects the collapse of undiscovered lava tubes, the structural properties of the far side's geology, or some resonance from the buried mass anomaly beneath the South Pole Aitken Basin, is a question that cannot be answered from Earth. To truly decode the far side, you need sensors placed directly on the surface. But to this day, humanity has never deployed a single seismometer there. Are these strange echoes captured by Artemis II the sounds of a world slowly folding in on itself? Or are we listening to something much older, a resonance rising from depths that modern physical models were never designed to reach? The crew of Artemis II didn't need a seismometer to know they were drifting over something fundamentally alien. They could feel the crushing weight of the silence, and then they began to see it. Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen did not spend those 40 minutes staring into a void. They were witnessing a landscape that no human eyes had observed this closely since 1972. Koch and Glover captured thousands of ultra-high-resolution frames, from the Oriental Basin in unprecedented detail to the towering, jagged shadows of crater rims at lunar dawn. And then, the most disorienting moment in any astronaut's career arrived. Earth set. Every person you've ever known, every city, every ocean, every coastline glowing with night lights. All of it slowly sank below the moon's jagged gray horizon and stayed there. In that absolute darkness, the crew began to experience a phenomenon reported by every deep space mission before them. Flashes of light appearing directly within their retinas, even with their eyes bolted shut. High-energy particles from across the galaxy, usually deflected by Earth's magnetic field, were now slicing straight through the hull of Orion, passing through bone and skull to strike the astronaut's optic nerves. The brain struggles to interpret these atomic collisions, translating them into streaks of light, geometric shapes, or brief sparks that vanish before you can even be certain they were real. Neuroscientists at the Johnson Space Center call it charged particle phosphine generation. But inside a pitch-black capsule, behind the moon, with Earth vanished and the radio dead, those flashes feel far more haunting. Is it purely biology? Almost certainly. Or is it the universe's way of reminding four tiny human beings, drifting in a vast silence, that they are not the first things to pass through this darkness? Beneath their feet, 300 kilometers below the fine gray dust, a mass anomaly weighing 2.18 billion trillion kilograms silently warps gravity. And why are there mysterious heat sources, over 10 degrees Celsius hotter than their surroundings, radiating from deep within a world that should be frozen to the core? Victor Glover was not exaggerating when he radioed back to Houston. Humans probably haven't evolved enough to see what we are seeing. The moon is not just a poster in the night sky. It is a 4-billion-year-old geological crime scene, where the most terrifying mysteries are still waiting for Artemis 4 to dig them up. By 2028, Artemis 4 will transform the Gateway Station into a forward outpost, sending humans to the South Pole for durations that will make the Apollo era look like a weekend picnic. But before those footsteps even touch the lunar dust, another battle is quietly raging back on Earth. A throne room struggle between SpaceX and Blue Origin. These titans are locked in a billion-dollar race to secure the contracts for refueling tankers, the vital lifeblood necessary to sustain human existence on a world that knows no mercy. Artemis 2 returned with massive data drives and 40 haunting minutes of silence that no press release could ever truly describe. Beneath the fractured crust of the far side, a gargantuan entity weighing 2 billion trillion kilograms remains, waiting since before Earth even had oceans. What do you think is down there? Before the official answers arrive, leave your theories in the comments below. Who knows? Your theory might just be the subject of our next video. Goodbye, and we'll see you soon.